Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Okay. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Right, Karen?
Everything isn't fine. I was
Everything...
gonna kill people, and now there's no people to kill. So,
Yeah. So,
Kieran, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. Well, so you approach the ship, and the first thing you notice with your perception check of 18 is that there's, and that's the only thing you notice because it catches your attention so much that, like, you're like, where is everybody?
So I'm gonna land on the ship.
Okay, so you fly over and you land on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And you're standing, we'll say you landed on the front of the ship because that's obviously the way that you're approaching. So you're at the, what is that, the bow of the ship. And you're you're standing there. And because of the fact that it is a larger vessel, roll for me a vehicles check. But this time, you can roll me with advantage.
Okay.
It's actually, you should have even said like history check, but no, vehicles works. Yeah, you're proficient in it, right? So you're actually looking at the ship, and this is not like a war vessel. This is a large transport vessel. Like this is a shipping, like for transportation. You know, obviously, like it has, you know, a weapon on it, but weapons on it to defend itself. But this is meant for, you know, hauling cargo or something. Looking at the make of the ship with your 15, you can tell that this is clearly of the make of the Lazar Principalities. You know, it's sailing south and whatnot, and it's make of the Lazar Principalities, not the make of Lirandar or one of the countries nearby.
Well, I guess the first thing I would do is go to the helm.
Okay, sure. You go over to the helm of the ship, and you look at it. Roll me an investigation check. Okay. You're not able to notice much beyond the fact that there is a bit of blood on the helm.
Is it moving itself? Is it sailing, or is the ship just going forward on its own accord?
It seems like it's just making its way along.
So I'll try to alter course.
Sure, absolutely. So you grab the helm, you go to turn it. This again, because it's Lazar, you have to do normal. It's not like you have.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Experience with it.
Well, so you just don't have magical powers to control it. Oh, in this ship you happen to sail very well. You easily turn the course to make sure things are fine. No problem. It's funny, actually. You roll so well that when you go to turn your course, you realize that the course is already fine. Your first mate over there had no problem getting the ship out of the way and prepared to blow you up if need be.
All right, so I guess I'll just now that I've altered course, I will go through and take down the sails. Like, is there any way I can keep stop? Or I can anchor. Can I anchor here?
Yeah, you can weigh anchor, sure. I mean, it takes a bit. It has to catch something. It's not like it just instantly stops, right?
Right.
But you can definitely drop anchor.
Try to stop the vessel.
Sure. Dropping anchor is not something that you can just do from here. You have to actually go, like, because you usually call out weigh anchor, and somebody down below deck takes care of it.
Right. So now I have to do that myself.
With your 15 on your check from before. You do know where most likely the easiest way to get there. I mean, sure, you can just look over the side of the ship and be like, there's the anchor. But, like, the easiest way to get there from where you are.
So I'm going to go below deck and I'm going to see something horrible?
Sure. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
As you go below deck, roll me a perception check, please.
What horrifying things are down here, Scott?
So, as you go below deck and looking around and whatnot, one of the things that you notice is... the stairs themselves have taken some damage. Actually, it looks like some of the stairs themselves have been crunched into, like broken and whatnot. And as you're kind of like taking that up and cautiously making your way down, so not like break any more wood and hurt yourself, you look around and you actually, as you're going around the corners and whatnot to get to the door that you need to that brings you to the anchor room, one of the walls is completely missing on the side of the ship. I mean, you approach from the front of the ship. This side of the ship has a hole blasted into its wall. It's high enough up it's not taking water or anything like that because it's almost to the top. But there's a big hole in the side of the ship.
Huh. Okay. I take note of it, but I continue what I'm doing anyway.
Sure. You make your way over to the anchor room. And this is where you find your first sight of Like, because before it was dark. Oh shit, you're half elf. You have low light vision. I'm so sorry. As you're going down the stairs, one of the things that you notice is that there are bits of blood splattered on the wall, and a little bit of blood on the ground and whatnot. But as you go around the corner and you go up to like where now you have full light coming in from the hole in the side of the ship, you can see that there is a lot of blood right outside the anchor room itself. The door to the anchor room is somewhat broken, and there is a corpse that's lying there.
Oh, nice. I take note of the corpse.
Sure. So you just
I'll come back and loot it later after I get the ship to stop.
You go to the anchor room door and try to open it, but it seems the way it's broken, it's jammed.
Attempt to force it open?
Okay. So you shoulder it a few times trying to force it open. It seems completely fucking jammed.
I will attempt to cast a chromatic orb on like the handle.
Okay. What do you
Blast my way through.
what elements are you going to use, I assume?
Fire.
Okay. So you use fire the chromatic orb to blast the handle off and into the going up the side of the like into some of the frame, the inner frame and whatnot, entering the part of the door. Roll me damage for that one. I mean, you can just roll the attack damage or whatever. You're gonna hit.
Yeah. Let's see. Doesn't matter. 11.
Okay. So you blast open a good portion of it, and then you go to push the door again. I mean, it's now moving. It's actually budging some because of the fact that it's not like because part of the door is missing, so it's just lighter and less of it's jammed, but it's still partially jammed. However, hitting it this time, you can totally see the spot where if you blasted it a couple more times over in another side where it would just come loose.
All right. I'll probably just switch over to a cantrip at that point.
Sure.
Yeah. So just do whatever damage again.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. That's not the damage though.
Yeah, no, I know. It's also, like I said, you just hit natty ones. I don't do critical fumbles or anything like that in my games. So you blast it with your 8 points of damage and hit the door. You like the lightning damage. What happens is as you hit the door, the hinges that were there glow so hot with the electricity and everything that they end up kind of like burning free from the wood around them. So when you hit it again, it just completely comes free, and the door, instead of like opening up, it actually breaks a little bit, and so part of it just falls down, and you can grab part of the door and just rip it out of your way so you can actually get into the room. What you see on the other side of the room is immediately inside there, you see that the room was, I mean, it very clearly was boarded up at one point, but then the stuff had since been pulled away from boarding it up. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there were things clearly removed from the walls that were put near the door, but are no longer arranged in such a way that they would have been boarding it. You didn't hear them fall away or anything like that. However, on the floor, you do find a dead person. Quickly looking at this one, you can tell just by the way that they look, they very obviously died of starvation or in thirst and stuff. It's very
They locked
obvious.
themselves in to protect themselves and they died here. Got it.
Yep.
That's interesting.
So you go over to the anchor and you pull the crank. You release the clamp, the clip, pull the crank, it falls.
All right, cool. And then I'll start taking anything of value on the ship.
Sure. So you start walking around to look over around the ship and see what of value might be there as you're walking about. As you walk throughout the ship, you see that there is not a single survivor anywhere, and there is a good number of people. As a matter of fact, could you roll me an investigation check, please, Aaron? Okay. And the DC is lower for you than it would be for others because of your background. What it is you can tell that this ship wasn't transporting goods. It was transporting people. And there's not a single live one here. And that wasn't the only hole in the side of the ship. There are a total of 4 holes in the side of the ship that looked like they were broken open or blasted open somehow. And there's not a single living person here. And to that effect, the people that were on the ship weren't exactly people that had a lot of valuables. So there's copper that are scattered around dead bodies, but nothing really noteworthy.
So I'm gonna assume it was just like a magical creature, like of the sea, like a leviathan or a kraken or something.
Very possible. So you collect the copper pieces and the silver pieces lying around, the occasional gold coin or two. But again, it's not like this a ton
Right.
here of incredible value. Some of the supplies that are on the ship, like some of the food supplies that are designed to survive years at sea. Okay, yeah, that stuff's actually still good, and you lost some of that at the storm you dealt with, so you can totally take that. And some of the actual supplies that you use, like repair a ship while at sea and stuff like that, that's actually in good shape. You can take that too. For the most part, though, the ship does not have much of value here.
Okay.
Then you get to the captain's area, and you get to their navigation table, and there's charts there. There's
Ooh.
updated charts to Lazar Principalities. You don't have updated charts of the Lazar Principalities. Actually, yours are several years old. So the good thing about charts, because it's not like the land has moved much, or big new masses of land have arisen, or there's new technology for mapping them. It's just kind of where pirating is more customarily known, where trade routes are known. It's like all like directions and whatnot. You find that.
Who controls where?
I imagine borders and stuff shift a lot.
Absolutely.
Principalities, awesome.
So
Cool.
you find all of that, and you know that it's written in common, of course, but it's written in, as you know, a very unique type of common. It's actually it's so funny because in all of Corvair, there's only one place that has common kind of similar to the common in Lazar Principalities, and that's in the shittiest, lowest areas of Sharn, where the languages almost kind of blend together, and the dialects almost kind of blend together. It's the only place where you're going to have it similar to there, so that the common shorthands that they have, it's different. But you're familiar with it.
Yep,
So anyways,
I am.
you grab all that stuff and roll me a separate investigation check for the captain's quarters to see if you find anything valuable there. You search around the captain's quarters and you do find a nice sack full of gold, and you actually do find a few of their personal effects. Like let's say I'm telling you, there is a mirror that they have that has a gold filigree around it, and the quality of metal that it was set into is really nice. The clarity of the mirror itself is extremely high. What's the thing called? The vanity that you found, that in the vanity itself, if it can be removed, is actually made out of a high quality wood. With it, I mean, the workmanship on it was incredible, but it is attached. It's built into the ship for because being tossed around and whatnot. And then a few other like personal effects and stuff like that in there that are of value, but most of them are like cosmetic things.
How much gold?
Oh, the actual coins that you came across, everything was 314 if you add up silver and copper.
Okay, cool. I'm sure we'll use that to fix the ship. So, okay, cool. I'll just wait for, I should probably send you guys, like, a signal. Or go back. So, I'll probably fly back to the crew at this
That
point
whole
in time.
thing took you a considerable amount of time.
I'll probably have to recast the spell, yeah.
Yep, to fly back. Definitely have to recast the spell to get back, which is fine.
And I know I'm no longer invisible.
But I imagine you also gave them word beforehand, I'm not dead! And then now you're
Somehow.
actually going to them.
Just shouting it.
Yeah, you can literally just shout it if you needed to.
Yeah. Alright. So I would just go back and I'd say, there's no one on the ship. It looks like it was ransacked before. I'm going to assume by a magical creature because there was nothing of value they had. You guys are welcome to go on and look yourselves.
Being
Kind of grisly though.
Being a superstitious folk, though, definitely far less so than what it
Typical
had.
sailors.
Typical sailors, because it is Lazar Principalities, but still being superstitious. Every one of your crew, in their own way, give a little prayer to the sovereign host and whatnot. Every single one of the crew do something like that. As a matter of fact, like, it's one of those things where the way that they react to the fact that this is effectively a ghost vessel, the way that they react to that is kind of heartwarming to Reich and Stahlbor, who have never seen them kind of react this sort of way. As a matter of fact, it's so heartwarming in seeing this happen that each one of you guys are awarded an action point as you like see how quickly this crew is able to come together during a time of duress, how well they've helped each other during all this, and then how immediately they're able to even show grievance for people that they've never known before. It kind of reminds you of the bonds that you guys are building amongst yourselves. Kieran, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, that's it. Oh, we can take their sails to repair ours, but other than that, there's no reason for us to stick around.
Should we not burn the ship?
Is that customary?
I mean, no, yes. It's one of those things where if the ship could be saved, you would keep it to the best of your ability because, it's a ship, right?
Right.
If not, I guess you could burn it. I would say yes, you would burn it just out of respect of the dead that are on it. I mean, you're
Yeah,
not Silver
we can do that.
Flame, but it's still a corpse.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do
If
that.
you really wanted to, if Kieran really wanted to go that extra mile, she would throw the bodies overboard, and it's kind of like to the sea from whence we came, sort of a thing.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
We
if
can take
we're
time to do
going
that.
back on the ship to do that, like we're
Yeah.
anchoring nearby, I'm gonna investigate the causes of death in more detail because that's what I do. I'm
So
curious.
you actually
Yeah.
want to look into that, Stalbor?
Yeah.
So I would actually go with him, and I would point out the fact that whoever was in that room boarded themselves in and chose to starve to death instead of facing whatever was out here.
Ooh, morbid.
Absolutely. So Stalbor, you
I
had
thought you would
advantage
like
on
that.
roll, of course, and you got an amazing 24. So walking around, and this is kind of like a general check, which is fine.
Yeah, that's what.
Some of the corpses were literally electrocuted to death. You could tell clearly this is like a mark of Kieran. Absolutely fried, electrocuted to death. Some of the corpses had parts of their body literally ripped, like the chest like ripped open, parts of the body pulled off. There's these huge, strange-looking teeth marks on parts of the body and whatnot. Other ones, like you could tell, like, oh, this one they died from head trauma, but not because something attacked it. It looks like they slipped in a pool of blood and they smashed their face on the floor over here, and so on and so on. So all of this stuff is happening to all the stuff that you're getting is that you can kind of like, what the fuck would have done something like this? That
Do you
could have
mention
electrocuted
any
all
of
these
that?
creatures. Huh?
I would be basic. Imagine if you were following me around while
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I would be describing everything, but in way longer terms. But the gist of it would be like something attacked them
Oh,
and
that was
caused
the Kraken.
complete chaos.
That was a kraken. There was lightning. It was a kraken. Like
Light-
no, this is where the tentacles came through.
And holes in the side of the ship. Well, yeah.
That's where the tentacles came through. They called lightning down. It was definitely a kraken.
You mean the squid thing that you like?
Those things are
that.
real?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When are we getting off the sea?
You don't have to worry about us being attacked by them.
Oh,
Why?
don't I?
They don't attack us. They're no vessels.
And why is that?
Because they
That depends.
worship them.
That depends on who you ask.
Well, I feel really good inside right now. Okay, I have
If
got a
it's-
brand new worry.
This is such a cruel fate.
Yeah, attacks have been getting really more common lately on Corvair.
Oh, really?
To what end do they attack these people? Do they feed on the humans?
No.
I
no.
don't know how much
It's
do I
not
know about
eating.
Krakens in game, Scott? Do I know they take slaves? Like, do I know?
You don't know. You don't know anything about that stuff.
I don't know
no.
anything. Who knows?
They're not eating. There's too much wasted for eating unless it was a creature killing and eating for sport, like a house
No.
cat.
They're creatures of the devour. They attack because they can.
Oh, sounds familiar.
This is why I stay on land.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Arenel is looking more.
At least the things that kill you on land do it to eat.
You don't have to worry about it here.
Yeah.
That is so comforting.
You often say that I don't need to worry about things, and here I am, worrying. And then I'll walk away.
Let's burn this damned vessel and be done with it.
Kieran, do
Alright.
you do the extra effort of having each one of the bodies dragged and thrown overboard before you burn the vessel, or do you just leave them where they lie
Yeah.
and burn it?
Yeah, we'll throw them overboard.
Okay.
They can be food for something.
Do you guys assist with that?
I would
No.
to save time I would but my character would kind of like find this very strange, and he would verbally not protest but like question why are we wasting our time doing this, but if Kieran insists, I'll help.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you-
like vaguely religious,
if
so
you
Stalbor
question
is
that,
staying
actually,
far away.
yeah, one of the other crewmen could actually answer it for you and just tell you what.
He would literally just say, "Why not leave them where they lie?"
Again, one of the crewmen, because Kieran's obviously taking care of things and whatnot. One of the crewmen would tell you, be like, it's the dead.
Yeah, they no longer care what happens with their bodies. I assure you.
They're you respect the dead.
At that, Reich just kind of smirks and he says, if you will. And then I'd help if there's bodies to tend to. I wouldn't complain or anything. I would just help lug them over the vessel. But it's obvious I'm doing this like half-heartedly.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Cool. And so you do that and make your way around, throwing all the bodies over. You guys had prepared a bunch of stuff beforehand and soaked it with a bunch of oil. So you just kind of slop it around and light it on fire. And you have a couple of spells you can use. I imagine Luca has no problem doing that, lighting stuff on. Luca obviously would have no problem throwing the bodies overboard, and would assist as well. As a matter of fact, one of the things, Kieran, all of you guys can roll me an insight check. Come to think of it, all of you.
En's pulling out limes, shit like that. No, En, that's not necessary.
Waiting for you to Eric the roll. Oh, you are really good at reading.
Really?
Things, oh my god, Jesus. Okay, so
no shit.
you guys, so Stalbor and Kieran, you see that when En goes about doing this, En doesn't need direction and actually drags every one of the bodies to the end, like to overboard, and says something to each one of them before throwing them out to sea. It's like kind of like arranges the arms a certain way and then says something to them, and with a little bit of a struggle, kind of like throws them out to sea. And so kerplunk they go into the water. However, Reich, you notice that En is going about this like methodically. Like they notice that he knows that he's going through the motions. You notice that he, whatever, is going about it methodically. Like knows the steps, knows where to go, and is actually walking past some bodies to others and putting those into the water before selecting other bodies and putting them into the water. It's one of those things where you're like, it seems extremely well practiced.
I would keep note of this, but I wouldn't say anything at the time.
Okay. And after everything's said and done, and you guys are going out and burning the ship, again, it's one of those things where you have no problem like throwing soaked rags everywhere and whatnot. And would go around to very specific areas to throw the oil, or to dump oil or whatever it is. With that, Kieran would know, yeah, these are clearly spots where you would want to burn first because it's going to take in the most air, it's going to spread the fire faster, so on and so forth. But Kieran already assumed from the beginning that En has experience with sailing because of what was said before. So doesn't surprise her at all. And you guys make your way off of that ship back to your own ship. The whole crew kind of like has another, like, in their own ways, again, nothing uniform, has their own like little moments as you guys sail away, and it's kind of like dusk is setting and you can see it off in the distance. So it's all kind of like warding away of spirits and whatnot for the night. But now when you guys finish this up, and it's probably somber for the next few days, does any more conversation you want to have with one another at this point as you're sailing away from this?
No, at this point.
Cool. You finally, after quite a few days of traveling, are finally going to bring yourself into the port of New Throne. Bring yourself, so you actually pass by Adder ports to get there. Adder port, as you guys are passing by it, you keep a distance because you're not going to go like right the fuck up to the docks or anything. But as you pass by it, you're actually going to notice that the city itself, the port city itself, is decently sized, and there are a lot of like stone buildings that you can see. There's castle walls around it, whatnot that you can see. It's actually decently sized. Is what you would expect to be typical CD you'd find, like say Breland or something like that, right? It doesn't stand out from those, despite how removed from civilization, if you will, it is. So you pass by Adderport, and you finally make your way over to New Home. Give me half a second. So you find your way over to New Home. Now, New Home is another city where it's again clearly of human, New Throne. I keep saying home. I'm so sorry. New Throne. Clearly of human craft. There's large stone walls that surround the city. There's a beautiful large dock that comes off of it, and you can get that smell of it being a human city from where you are as you're approaching the docks. But it's a little bit different in the sense that you see that the entire city is surrounded by extremely dense forest. Now, in Zendrick, when you guys visited Stormreach, yes. This is an extremely dense rainforest, but it's not like right outside the gates of Stormreach. It's actually a distance away. Like you have to travel a bit to get there. There is an extremely dense forest. Literally, like if you open the gates to the city, not from the port side, from the other side, you can see there's it goes straight into forest with a path cutting through it. That's the kind of terrain that you're sailing into. When you go into the city and you dock up there, the dock master that comes over to encounter you guys walks up to you and seems genuinely jovial. Say that 8 times real fast. So he comes up and he's like, "Why, good day to you, miss. You sailing on behalf of House Lyrindar or just got their flag?"
Sailing on behalf of House Lyrindar and on business of House Cannith.
Oh. That's certainly. So that's actually going to be 2 different types of documents they're going to need you to fill out, but that's not a problem. This one right here, just saying that you're signing in your Lyrindar ship. For the record, we don't keep any track of this. This is just for your house.
Lovely.
Stowball elbows Reich and nods to it all.
Okay.
Just knowing that Reich appreciates paperwork.
Reich sees it. Reich nods and appreciates
Kieran
it.
appreciates it less.
Yeah, I think that's why Stowball is amused.
So you signed that document, and you said you have business with House Cannith? Then when you unload those goods, we're just going to have to double check everything that's coming through, and we're going to have you sign stuff off.
All right.
Thank you so much. You were going to be staying here for some time?
Only as long as we have to.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm just going to request that you take your ship after you're done unloading it, and if you can move it over to docks, to dock B, and just try to stay near the end of it. Try to stay near the end. That way you're not in the way of anybody else that might be docking.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
And he kind of walks off cheerily. You can see
That guy enjoys his life.
This is
He
how you run
must
an
be
order.
a fool.